it looks like we are getting a PvE/PvP hybrid game mode. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the channel. So what we're going to do in this video is cover this recently released director's take looking ahead to Season 4. In fact, I think this has literally just gone out. As of me recording this video, it's literally 6 minutes past 7 in the UK, and I think this went out at 7. So this is like hot off the presses. What is really interesting in this, I quickly skipped over it, but the whole thing about PvE is super interesting. But I also do want to take a look at what we're actually getting in Season 4 as well. So let's go through this and let's see what the director, Aaron Keller, is saying about Season 4. So let's just go through this and let's break it all down. So he says, Season 4 starts in just a few days. I believe it starts on April the 11th, doesn't it? Over the past week, we've revealed a lot about what's coming next Tuesday and beyond. There is a lot to look forward to, and I'm going to give a little more in-depth... I'm going to go a little bit more in-depth on some of the pieces that we've already revealed. So, this is good. We always like it when the game director talks, and we always like getting a bit more information, because it lets us sort of get into the mindset of what's going on behind the scenes. It's really cool. So, Lifeweaver. This is excellent news. So, Lifeweaver, one of the biggest releases of Season 4, is our newest support hero, Lifeweaver. If you'd like to see more about Lifeweaver, you can find his trailer here. I'll wait while you watch it. Okay, well, I think we've all seen the trailer by now. If you're watching my videos, you probably have. You've probably seen all the videos that I've put and everybody else has put out onto YouTube and all of that good stuff. There's tons of content out there on Lifeweaver, which I think a lot of, we can kind of make our own opinions up, I think. Some crazy hot takes for the hero. Obviously, we need to get the hero into the game to see how he fits into the meta, to see if he's underpowered a little bit, which he might be, because I don't think his heal is going to be enough. Although, one thing I will say about his heal before we go into what Aaron says here, I reckon the developers are a little bit worried because it's a lock-on heal with a very long range, and you can throw this into, like, I don't know, maybe a flanking tracer or somebody who's diving into the enemy team. Even though it's not a big heal, it's only 65, that's quite powerful on a 200 or even 150 HP hero that might be running around in the backline. So maybe that's why they're worried. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on. But I do think they will buff his heal in some regard. I think they'll get rid of the movement speed reduction while you're channeling the heal to begin with. Anyway, this is all speculation. We don't know what they're going to do. Let's see what Aaron says. This hero can do quite a few things that are totally new to the game. Some, like his petal platform, we've been talking about since the original game shipped. His wildest ability, which is Life Grip, where Lifeweaver can grab an ally and pull them to his location. It happens almost instantly without any confirmation from that player, and it can have a huge impact in a fight. The first thing that many people question when they see this ability is whether it could be used to grief teammates. It can, but it can also be used to save them or to set up even bigger plays. Teamwork, including depending on and trusting your allies, is crucial to Overwatch combat. Now, I want to stop here for a minute because this is really interesting, isn't it? Because one of the reasons for going to 5v5 is so you're less dependent on your team in a lot of ways. 6v6, you are more dependent on your team. But now they're sort of saying, no, hang on, teamwork is part of Overwatch. So we're going to release a hero which has got an ability which, yes, will be the most griefable troll super ability the game's ever seen, because we've discussed this to death, but you can just pull people. It's not about killing them. It's not about pulling them off the map. It's about maybe your Doomfist blows his cooldowns and goes into an engage, and then you just pull him because you just don't want him to go in. Maybe that Doomfist is going to be kind of annoyed. Maybe he'll be happy because you've just saved him. There's all these things that are going to happen with this ability. And yeah, I do think there's going to be tons of stupid people out there who are going to try and make compilations of just killing people with it or messing up their team. So yeah, it's going to be a thing. The other thing I will say on this is, it looks like Aaron actually goes on to this because he's going to it looks like he's going to discuss what I was going to discuss, and I did actually discuss this in previous videos, but it's the idea of there are abilities in Overwatch at the moment where you can just grief people anyway. And does it happen that often? The problem is the Lifeweaver one takes away that player agency, right? It takes away control of that player and pulls them straight to you, and they've got no choice. It's going to hit them. They can't even say no. It's going to happen. It's possible to use different abilities in ways that don't always have a positive outcome for your team. Think of Mercy's res, or Mercy using her res at the wrong moment. So, I guess we can kind of jump on this, actually, because I think this is a really bad example, because Mercy using her res at the wrong moment can be frustrating when you get brought back to life and then instantly die. but I'm not sure it's as frustrating as being constantly pulled out of position. You get what I'm saying, guys? Like, if you're constantly, like, every 20 seconds, the Lifeweaver is just targeting you and pulling you. It's going to be super annoying, that is. Mercy going for a res. The Mercy's trying to help you there, right? I don't think I've really seen any troll Mercy reses. In fact, I don't think I ever have. I don't think I've ever seen Mercy go in and res somebody intentionally. Not me. Maybe it's obviously probably happened, but that's interesting, isn't it? That's really interesting to think of it that way. But I don't know. I just think the issue with Lifeweaver, and why the reason a lot of people were getting sort of annoyed by it, is, like I said, you can't say no to this. Yeah, you can't say no to a Mercy res, but Mercy's putting herself at risk, and Mercy's probably going to die if she does it, and then fair enough. Whereas Lifeweaver can just be pulling you, and you don't have any choice. I don't know. I guess they are sort of similar, so maybe it's not a totally terrible example as I first thought, but I don't know. I don't think there's no taking away that Lifeweaver can be a massive troll, right? More than any other hero. Anyway, let's move on. We're always looking for opportunities to evolve Overwatch and to give players new ways of interacting with the game. When creating new heroes, we want to pursue abilities that make them feel powerful, as well as let teams work together in ways that they could never before. And I think this might be an interesting point here, because they have been, like, sort of accused in the past of recycling abilities for heroes. This isn't a hero with recycled abilities, it's new, but they're abilities that they haven't had in the game, maybe for good reasons. If you think that they had discussions about Lifeweaver's pedal platform before Overwatch even launched, there must be a reason why they didn't implement them into the game. So, I don't know, this could be just sort of a case of, we want something unique, we know there's going to be a trade-off here, so we're just going to have to do this. And I think maybe that's what happened, but hey, who knows. Sometimes this causes a little friction, but we think it's worth it. If you want to practice this ability, jump into the new Bob and Weave game mode, where you can use live grip to position your team's bob. It's a wacky mode, but it's a total blast. Lifeweaver is the 5th new hero for Overwatch 2. The following hero, slated for Season 6, will also be a support. Before Lifeweaver, there were 8 support heroes in the game, 3 less than the tank role and a lot less than our damage role. We think that this gap is too large, and we'd like to start correcting it. However, we don't want to abandon either of the other 2 roles. We probably won't stick to an exact formula, but we're shooting to release roughly 2 supports to every 1 damage and tank hero. So again, nice bit of information here, but we have known for a while that the next hero will be a support as well. So the hero we get later on in the year will also be a support hero. But then it looks like maybe we get a damage hero next, or maybe we get a tank hero. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. But it's good to see that they're trying to rebalance the number of heroes available in the role, because support, it is quite restrictive. Okay, let's talk about this mode. This is Starwatch, and this is the hybrid PvE PvP mode. Now, I've not seen this play. Like a lot of you guys know, content creators were given access to the test server. The test server had Bob and Weave on it, but I never actually played that, so I can't really comment on it. But Starwatch, this is something completely new. I don't know anything about it beyond what they've actually put out in these official blog posts. So let's check this out. We're releasing a new game mode in Season 4 called Starwatch. Players take the side of a watcher or an agent of the Infinite Empire. There's a lot of fun and takes a page out of Junkenstein's book, in that it tells a story that is set outside the Overwatch universe. Who knows, if players enjoy Starwatch, it would be great to be able to expand on this story in the future. One of the things that I'm most excited about with Starwatch is that it introduces some PvE elements into a PvP match. This is the big takeaway here. This is actually quite big. It almost seems like a tower defense game in a way. Anyway, turrets are placed for the Infinite Empire, and Doomfist will play alongside the Watchers. We've been talking about game modes like this lately and would like to explore them more. We've done experiments like this before. The archive missions were designed and technology testbeds to allow us to start creating the upcoming story missions for Overwatch 2. Which they were. I mean, we've known that for... Well, actually, I'm not even sure Blizzard have actually said that before in the past, but we've always expected that was the case, right? You know, you go back and look at the archives events, especially the Blackwatch event, and, you know, it's clear that that was built for PvE, right? And obviously those systems, they've built them, tested them out for those modes, and now they're building upon them, hopefully, for Overwatch 2. And then he goes on to say, I'd love for us to think of Starwatch in the same way, the first step into something bigger and more ambitious that we could be doing in the future. So I think this is really interesting. Honestly, I think this is super, super interesting, because it looks like the Infinite Empire team can spawn turrets, or turrets are placed for them. I don't know whether they get to place them in a certain position or they just spawn. But then Doomfist plays alongside the Watchers. Doomfist has got a gauntlet that's meant to level a skyscraper, right? Maybe Doomfist has to try and take out the turret. Really interesting this is. And I think, you know, it strikes me as the thing, like, I've never really thought of Overwatch as like a hybrid PvE, PvP game. I've always had them separated in my mind. It's always like there's a PvE mode and then there's PvP. But like blending them together, that's actually really cool. You know, imagine in the future if you had like an Overwatch dungeon, let's say, and it's a story mission, but also there's another team who are maybe racing you to the finish, or you're both trying to complete objectives that put blockers in the path of the other team. Imagine how cool that would be, loading into a game, and instead of actually fighting each other, the game begins and you see both teams, and then you try and rush towards the end of the dungeon. You kind of do something like this with World of Warcraft with the Mythic Dungeon Invitational, but I think there's loads of ways you could expand upon this for Overwatch 2, and, you know, really take the game above and beyond just being a PvP game. Because as we know, the heroes in the game are incredible. The story has got potential to be massive. So yeah, I mean, I don't think I particularly would dislike a world where there was tons of PvE content and not that much PvP. I don't know. Maybe things just change as you get older and you prefer PvE. I don't know. I'm not speaking for everyone there, by the way. But yeah, this is cool. Honestly, this is really, really cool. And I can't wait to see what happens with this. Cool stuff. Then we get this now. Pride. The way Blizzard have dealt with Pride in Overwatch has been terrible. Like, I'm not going to go into detail and break it all down, but it has not been great. But it looks like this is about to change. So it looks like they're about to fully support this. And I think this is excellent because representation really matters. It really, really matters. So this is what we've got here. Pride. Pride is coming to Overwatch this year. I'm so excited about this, and I'd like to briefly touch on why. This is an important subject for us. It's easy to get called out for talking about a fictional character's queerness without the proper setup, or to get accused of adding inclusivity for the wrong reasons. This is one of the reasons as well why Lifeweaver, I mean, he's pansexual, and straight away it's there with the launch of the hero. It isn't just something that looks like it's tacked on. Now, there was a lot of debate around Soldier 76 when it came out that, oh, Soldier 76 is gay. Well, that was sort of like, oh, right, is he? Like, what? Like, no one expected this. It's just sort of, you've just done it, haven't you, Blizzard? You're just ticking a box. That's something I think they're trying to avoid here, and you can see that with the way Lifeweaver was set up being added to the game. He then goes on to say, anyway, we've always thought of Overwatch as a game that portrays a bright, hopeful, and inspirational future. The world is a diverse place. We would not only like Overwatch to reflect that, but we want players to be able to see a part of themselves in our game, which again comes back to representation being so important, and it is, and this is good to see this. To have it showcase who they are. We like Pride to feel like it's being recognised and celebrated within our game world. Before June, we will share how we are celebrating Overwatch 2's first Pride, and we will also share the values that drive this team every day to bring our game's vision to life. So this is actually massive. You also have to remember as well, when Pride Month comes around, you just get every other company on the planet starts changing their icons. You know, they have Pride flags, colours, schemes, and it's like, oh, great. But Blizzard were guilty of that as well. But they had Overwatch, which was a game that is about diversity, and it never fully represented that. So it was not great. This looks really great. So I can't wait to see what actually happens with this. Real good news. So the next thing I want, and you can see, by the way, no comments. I'm that quick on this, like literally no comments. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is this. So this is a news post that was put up talking about what's coming in Season 2. And there's a little bit more additional information here. So I kind of want to jump down here and kind of go over this bit here. So there is a map called Talantis. Now, I had no idea what the actual hell this was. In fact, on the test server, which I was part of, I was like, what is this map? It's like a half-finished map. What is this? I thought it was a brand new map, which was coming, you know, down the line. I'm like, oh, what is this doing in the game? Anyway, it turns out that no, this was from a live stream. But it also turns out that the VOD for this live stream was also deleted. This is probably why I don't know anything about it. Somebody did upload this to YouTube. I've since seen this, and it's really quite interesting because what it does is it shows you Aaron Keller and Dion Rogers basically very quickly making an Overwatch map with Twitch chat giving stupid suggestions. That's why it's called Talantis, and it's got loads of jump pads on it, and it's totally terribly bad. But it's really cool seeing them use the editor, and I couldn't help but think, wouldn't it be cool if you gave that to the fans, to the players? The workshop's cool, but imagine if you could make your own maps. It would be another level. So I don't know, maybe that could happen in the future, but that's probably wishful thinking. Then we get a bit more information here on the what's it bloody called? I forgot the name of it. Starwatch, the Starwatch mode. Yeah, it's called Galactic Rescue. There you go. So it's a 4v4 game mode that takes place on a reworked Horizon Lunar Colony, where Watchers will attack against the defending Infinite Empire. Assemble your team from select heroes to represent the Watchers and Infinite Empire, and battle your way through new objectives and surprises. So I really can't wait for this. I think this is going to be really cool. And yeah, cool stuff. This as well. So this is the return of an old game mode, and it doesn't really feel that old to me. So this was Season 2. The Battle for Olympus. This is coming back, and it's going to be playable again, which is going to be interesting. This mode was okay. I don't think it was particularly that good, but it's probably going to give players another chance to earn titles if they didn't earn them before. I'd imagine to see the whole event return, basically, and the skins probably being put in the shop, which could be indicative of them actually maybe running out of skins to stick in the shop. I don't know. Although there is a ton of skins this season, so I don't know. And yeah, I think the rest of this we've kind of covered. So celebrating life, friendship, and love, we've gone over that. Actually, no, we haven't actually. So, oh yeah, I do apologise. So this is as part of Overwatch 2's ongoing goal to bring hope for the future. We are happy to bring new events later in the season that bring us together as a community. First, we're introducing the Gardener Symmetra skin epic in the Symmetra Challenge. Complete in-game challenges to earn this skin, along with other spring-tastic, who the hell wrote that, rewards that go live from May the 23rd. Okay, cool. Yeah, and then they say the Pride event is coming starting June the 1st. Hero updates, we've got, yeah, we've kind of been over those. You guys know what the hero updates are now. Yeah, and those updates, and yeah, and it does start April 11th. So there you go, guys. I think we'll leave it at that. Interesting stuff, I think. It's been a bit of a wild week for Overwatch news. And it almost feels like, I don't know, I feel like they really need to break this. We only really get stuff at the start of a season and a bit in the middle of a season somehow, because I feel like everyone comes back for the start of a season, everyone then comes back for the mid-season update, and then everyone comes back for the start of a season. Maybe that's fine. I don't know. It's interesting. Anyway, thank you for listening and watching to the video. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below. And I've literally just had a heart attack because I thought my microphone was muted for all of that, but I don't think it is. Oh God. I'll catch you guys on the next one. See you soon.